हेलो दोस्तों, मैं हूं आपका दोस्त दिव्येश और वेलकम बैक टू माय चैनल। आज हम एक स्पेशल गेस्ट से मिलने वाले हैं। वो स्पेशल क्यों है उसके बारे में अगर मैं बात करूं तो कुछ सालों पहले मैंने एक वेब सीरीज़ देखी थी, वाइल्ड वाइल्ड कंट्री, जो ओशो के बारे में थी। उस वेब सीरीज़ को देखने के बाद मुझे मा आनंद शीला के बारे में जानने का मौका मिला। उस वक्त से ही मेरे मन में था कि मैं कभी ना कभी इनका इंटरव्यू करना चाहता हूँ। और रिसेंटली मुझे पता चला कि मा आनंद शीला स्विट्ज़रलैंड से इंडिया आए हैं और वडोदरा में संडे को उनका एक प्रोग्राम था। सैटरडे का वक्त था, मेरा शेड्यूल थोड़ा हेक्टिक था। रात को मैं 12:30 बजे फ्री हुआ, तो मुझे प्रिपरेशन करने का इतना टाइम नहीं मिला जो मैं करना चाहता था। और उनसे मिलने के लिए मैं बेसब्री से इंतज़ार कर रहा था, तो थोड़ा नर्वस भी था और मुझे पता नहीं था कि मैं इंटरव्यू कर भी पाऊँगा या नहीं। मैंने उनको एक मैसेज ड्रॉप किया कि मैं इस तरह से आपका इंटरव्यू करना चाहता हूँ, और सरप्राइजिंगली मुझे आंसर मिला, सी यू टुमारो। अब मैं समझ नहीं पाया कि ये हाँ है या ना है, और मैंने सोचा कि लेट्स हैव अ ट्राई। और मैं अपना किट रेडी करके नेक्स्ट डे अर्ली मॉर्निंग वडोदरा के लिए निकल पड़ा। प्रोग्राम ख़त्म होने के बाद मैंने उनसे कहा कि हमारी मैसेज में बात हुई थी और मैं इस तरह से आपका इंटरव्यू करना चाहता हूँ। उन्होंने कहा या श्योर। मुझे टाइम नहीं मिला था प्रिपरेशन का और मैं थोड़ा नर्वस भी था, लेकिन कुछ सवाल मेरे मन में थे जो मैं उनसे पूछना चाहता था। तो आइए देखते हैं हमारे स्पेशल गेस्ट के साथ ये मुलाकात। मा आनंद शीला, वेलकम टू अवर शो।
Thank you for inviting me on your show.
मैम, सबसे पहले जानना चाहूँगा कि आपका चाइल्डहुड कैसा रहा?
I had a wonderful childhood. I was spoiled with love from parents and also from my siblings. Even my teachers when I was in grammar school.
आप 1960s वाले दशक में फॉरेन स्टडी के लिए गए थे। उस वक्त जनरली लोग अपनी बेटियों को या लड़कियों को अपने गांव के बाहर भी पढ़ने भेजते नहीं थे, तो ये कैसे पॉसिबल हुआ?
My father was ahead of his time at least 50 years. And my father wanted us children to have the best education in the world. I come from a middle class family, but my father and mother made it possible for us to have the best schooling what we could get. And that's how he sent us all children one by one to US to study.
तो स्टडी के बाद आपने क्या ऑप्शंस कंसीडर किए कि वहीं पे सेटल होना, वहीं पे अपनी करियर डेवलप करना, या क्या चॉइस आपके पास क्या थी उस वक्त?
We were just young students. We would work for weekend and live off the weekly earning to be a student and enjoy student life.
इंडिया आने का फिर कैसे प्लान हुआ?
Then my mother was operated on her eyes, and that was the first time I remember that mother was ever sick or not well. So my school was finished. It was coming vacation time, so I decided to come and visit my mother after 5 years. And of course, when you visit mother, father, you automatically visit. It's the same package. And then I came to India.
यहाँ आने के बाद आप ओशो से कैसे मिले?
Through father. That was the biggest present father, mother had given me. And I can never be less thankful.
वो जो आप पहली आपकी मीटिंग थी, उसका एक्सपीरियंस कैसा रहा? आपको क्या फील हुआ?
My first experience with Bhagavan was when I was around 16 years. Few days before I was traveling to America. And father wanted us to meet Bhagavan and also J. Krishnamurti. And during that time, both were in Bombay. So we went to visit both.
Okay.
First we went to Bhagwan and then J. Krishnamurti. And yeah, I fell in love with Bhagwan, but I could not recognize what is happening. Then I went 5 years, studied, came back, and that feeling, what I had felt when I was 16, at 21 became very prominent. And this feeling to recognize was being in love.
तो आपको कब ऐसा लगा कि आपको उनके साथ ही रहना या उनके साथ ही जुड़ना है?
From that very moment when I felt I only wanted to be in his fragrance. And when he was in Bombay, it was not possible because he lived in a small apartment. And then he moved to Pune. And then Pune, it happened that I could live in properties nearby him and be near him on a daily basis. And then he invited to participate with his work, and I took the opportunity.
उनका जो सोचना था, उनका जो तरीका था, वो दूसरे धर्मगुरुओं से अलग था और वो खुद को धर्मगुरु कहलाना भी नहीं चाहते थे, राइट? वो सबके खिलाफ ही बात करते थे। तो ऐसे में आपको क्या उनमें ऐसा लगा जिसने आपको अट्रैक्ट किया कि नहीं, ये जो रास्ता दिखा रहे हैं वो सही है?
Love, passion, that was my thing. I mean, without it, I could not have moved forward. And that was my pushing force, that was my motivator, Bhagwan and the love I felt for him.
तो 1981 में उन्होंने आपको पर्सनल सेक्रेटरी के रूप में सिलेक्ट किया, तो क्या ऐसी वजह रही कि उन्होंने आपको सेक्रेटरी के लिए चुना?
He simply declared me his secretary, personal secretary. And I was shocked with his declaration. And I asked him, I said, but Bhagwan, I can't even write. I can't take shorthand. Those days, shorthand was a way to be a secretary. He laughed. And he said, Sheela, you do as I tell you. You don't have to worry. Okay, then it was easy.
What is the difference between God and human being, according to you?
When you look at human with your eyes, gugus in love, then the other becomes God. Until that point, they are just fellow individual.
तो लोग रजनीश जी को भगवान मानते थे या फिर वो जैसे आपने कहा कि वो एक फीलिंग आती है, तो वो फीलिंग से लोग मानते थे?
I would say, as you say, the feeling of love makes him God. And I have no conflict calling him God or calling him human. For me, he can be both, no conflict.
जब पुणे शिफ्ट हुए, उसके बाद आश्रम की शुरुआत हुई, उसके बाद फॉलोअर्स का बढ़ना शुरू हुआ, आपने तो वो सब चीज़ें एक्सपीरियंस की थी, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि कौन सी ऐसी चीज़ थी जो लोगों को वहाँ पे खींच के ला रही थी?
It was Europeans were attracted to Bhagwan's thinking. In the West, people were tired of materialism, what we are seeing materialism now.
No.
And we are tired of it. Their people were tired then, in 60s, and they were looking for meaningful life. but churches couldn't offer it. The priests were just the fellow men with the same problem they suffer with. Here, Bhagavan had given objectiveness to one's understanding of fed-upness. Bhagavan drew our attention to areas we would never look otherwise. His powerful analysis of psychology and human behavior brings you right into the point of decay. And people were just attracted without knowing him. I have met hundreds of people from all walks of life. Some had a dream, some had a vision, somebody saw a photo in magazine and says, this is the man I thought of or had a dream, like that. So somewhere people were totally attracted to him. Call it love, call it whatever you want to, but he had something in him. And that something is what brought Bhagavan there. That something made us all call him Bhagavan.
पहले जैसे वो कहते थे कि भाई कोई पंथ नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई धर्म नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई ड्रेस कोड नहीं होना चाहिए. फिर ड्रेस कोड आया ऑरेंज, फिर आया मरून. तो उनकी क्या आवश्यकता लगी उनको?
It is not Bhagavan's avashyakta. It is the need to remind us what are we engaged in. When you are initiated by him, then you wear colors of sunrise and you wear his mala. Sunrise colors represented that you are on a path of learning, path of growing. Mala represented 108 methods of meditation, and you can choose whichever meditation suits you, and then you are in harmony. It doesn't matter you do this meditation or that. It is a way to bring you in harmony, and his photo, a reminder who is guiding you through this process.
आप क्या मानती हैं स्पिरिचुअलिटी के बारे में?
For me, I was in love with Bhagavan. I did not go looking for spirituality. But still, now I am in a position to answer such questions. For me, work positively is spiritual.
Do you believe in meditation?
No, I don't, and I never did it, and I don't think I will do it in this life. But I don't know if there will be a next life. But I'm using the phrase this life.
उस वक्त की जो मेंटालिटी थी हमारे इंडिया की, तो मिसफिट ही कहे जा सकते हैं. कैसे ये सब चीज़ें आप लोग मैनेज करते थे, और विरोध भी काफ़ी हुआ होगा, तो उसको आप लोग कैसे हैंडल करते थे?
When somebody calls Bhagavan misfit, I don't take it personally, because in reality he was a misfit. Now, either you call him misfit or call the society misfit, where he cannot fit in, because society is so debunked. But our arrogance is that we call him misfit. We used to make jokes about it, laugh about it.
और फिर उसी साल लोगों ने यूएस जाने का डिसाइड किया. What was the reason behind it?
The reason was simple. There were so many people were coming to visit him in a day. They didn't have proper places to eat. They didn't have proper hotels. People were getting sick. He wanted a bigger land where we can develop it. But it was time of emergency, and Indira Gandhi did not intervene that we could buy a land.
यूएस में जब आप गए तो वहाँ पे सब सेटअप करना, सब स्क्रैच से स्टार्ट करना, वो काफ़ी डिफिकल्ट रहा होगा. तो वो कैसे शुरू हुआ?
Life equivalence difficulty, it's not an issue. And I was not alone. There was thousands of sannyasins, support was there, hard work was there, Bhagavan was supporting, and there were right elements at the moment. It worked out well.
वहाँ पे जो आसपास के लोकल पीपल थे उनके साथ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स हुए थे, तो वो क्या?
There was no conflict. They were 19 miles away from where I had bought land. 19 miles. That's about, 56 kilometers or something. And they get disturbed there. And in between the terrain is of mountains. Curved road. To go from my house to the next village takes 1 hour. And they get disturbed. It was their fear of Christianity got problem. It was, they called it this region, Bible thumping region, mostly Christians. And they didn't want anything new coming there. It wasn't just Bhagavan. If you would have gone with your wife and children, they would treat you the same because you are new. This is this low mentality which exists in fear of others, and they want to dominate others with their fear. I wouldn't even waste my breath on them anymore. I've spoken so many times, explained so many times that it's a waste of time. Neither do I want to talk about crimes and all that. Let whoever wants to believe whatever they want to believe.
ये आपको नहीं लगता कि आपको आपका पक्ष एटलीस्ट रखना चाहिए कि लोगों को पता चले?
No. What? For useless talk? If there is a relevant, I can say. If there is a truth, I can say. And why should others ask me? I don't give them permission. I have been kind enough till now. I have always, out of my generosity, given them answers. And people are asking still the same question. It's time now. We stop.
तो वहाँ से आपने जब लेफ्ट किया आश्रम, तो what was the reason why you left?
The reason was simple. There were people around Bhagavan. They were not good. And they had started experimenting with drugs on Bhagavan. And I wanted to draw Bhagavan's attention to it. And Bhagavan told me to stay out of it. Ignore. And I could not ignore it. Because it was important for me to protect Bhagavan, his teachings, and his calming. And when I could not do it, it was time for me to vacate the position.
आपने जब कम्युनियन छोड़ा उसके कुछ दिनों बाद भगवान ने आपके खिलाफ इल्ज़ाम लगाया, व्हाई?
I have not seen Bhagwan. I have not asked. I could not ask him why. And Bhagwan does talk a year after I have left in his public discourse that Sheela has done nothing wrong. So you find out that discourse. It was somewhere August discourse in 86.
इतने सालों की एक मेहनत रही होती है एक चीज़ को बड़ा बनाने में, एक चीज़ को खड़ा करने में, और सडनली सब कोलैप्स हो जाए और फिर से ज़ीरो से स्टार्ट करना हो, फिर से स्क्रैच से करना हो, तो बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट होता है। यहाँ पे तो आपके साथ लोग थे, कम्युनिटी थी, भगवान थे। उसके बाद की लाइफ बिल्कुल अलग थी और एक सर पे एक इल्ज़ाम भी लोगों ने लगाए थे और उस वक्त जैसे आपने कहा कि आपकी बात सुनने के लिए भी कोई नहीं था, जिसको जो गॉसिप करनी है वो अपने हिसाब से गॉसिप करते थे। तो वो ज़ीरो से स्टार्ट करने वाली जर्नी कैसी रही?
Hard work.
तो सबसे पहले आपने फिर क्या किया था उस वक्त?
First, I made myself clear that it's very important to get back on my feet.
Okay.
Then I walked a dog for a day. In a day, one time, 1 hour I would walk and I would earn 10 francs. After that, I worked as a housekeeper, and after that, I started my own institute. I write about all of this in detail in a book by my own rules. It was published in 2021, and you can read it and you will get how I stabilized myself.
एक वक्त था कि जब आप भगवान के साथ लाइमलाइट में, तो सडनली एक लाइमलाइट से बिल्कुल ही एक अनजान जगह पे, जहाँ पे शायद कोई जानता भी ना हो, वहाँ पे पूरा
They knew who I was, they knew,
okay.
But they were a bit more civilized. Okay. They did not come and ask me, why did you do this or that? They were polite. They left me alone, which was too. Yeah, Swiss are very, very much neutral, and they let me establish myself again. So I'm ever grateful to Switzerland.
वहाँ पे जो आपने होम स्टार्ट किया, तो वो आइडिया कहाँ से आया और किस तरह से आपने उसको ग्रो किया?
I rented a building when I started. Then it was a 6-room house, and I had taken my first 3 patients there. Then a few months later became 5 patients. Then some journalists write about me, and some rich guy wanted to rent his villa. So I took that villa and I increased my patient to 16. And then he was a dishonest person. So I went to court, got the court right to get out of contract. And then I bought this house where I live now. And then I renovated with my own 2 hands. I put 348 square meter tiles throughout the house. During my renovation, I painted the house in a very short time, renovated and moved in there. And now last 26-27 years I live in this house.
ये जो भी controversies हुई थी, उसके बाद सबसे ज़्यादा जो worried होते हैं वो हमारे parents होते हैं। तो उनका क्या रिएक्शन था और उन्होंने आपको कैसे सपोर्ट किया?
My parents were absolutely bound with my trust. They knew their daughter.
आपकी उस वक्त की फुटेजेस कुछ देखी थी तो आप बिल्कुल कॉन्फिडेंट एक फियरलेस लेडी की तरह आप दिखती थी, तो वो चीज़ कहाँ से आई थी, या आप मतलब पहले से ही थी या फिर वो आपने डेवलप की थी?
I could say the truth all the time without a fear, because that was the training from mother father.
Okay.
And then I met Bhagavan, and Bhagavan polished it more.
So ऐसी क्या चीज़ें हैं जो आपने भगवान से सीखी?
I spoke about it today, about understanding media. I learned from Bhagavan never to say no.
Okay.
He said, in doubt, always say yes and remain positive. And when you are in positive mode, you don't say no. Small example, yesterday you wrote me something. I didn't know what my plan is today.
Okay.
And I said, see you tomorrow. And I said,
We'll
we
see.
will figure it out. And Bhagavan teaches us
Okay.
spontaneity. It tells us to be spontaneous. So that is a big event, spontaneity.
73 ईयर की एज में भी आप इतने एक्टिव हो, तो उसका क्या राज?
Only that I have a lot to do. And when you have a lot to do and you take responsibility for what you want to do or you have to do and not complain, then you will feel like me.
धन्यवाद मा आनंद शीला यहाँ पे आने के लिए।
Thank you. Thank you for your invitation.
उनसे मैं और भी बातें करना चाहता था, लेकिन उनकी स्विट्ज़रलैंड के लिए फ़्लाइट थी और उन्हें एयरपोर्ट के लिए निकलना था, तो उन्होंने जितना भी हमें समय दिया उसके लिए मैं उनको स्पेशल थैंक्स कहना चाहूँगा। दोस्तों, हर एक के जीवन में अप्स एंड डाउन्स आते हैं और इस अप्स एंड डाउन्स में से कैसे आप बाहर निकलते हैं वही इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज़ होती है। मा आनंद शीला की लाइफ से भी हम ये चीज़ सीख सकते हैं कि उनके जीवन में बहुत सारे अप्स एंड डाउन्स आए, लेकिन उन्होंने हार नहीं मानी और आगे बढ़ते रहे। तो इसी चीज़ को हमें भी सीखना है। तो दोस्तों, ये थे मा आनंद शीला, जिनके बारे में हमने उनकी कहानी उनकी ही ज़ुबानी सुनी। आशा करते हैं कि इस एपिसोड से आपको मा आनंद शीला के बारे में जानने का एक मौका मिला। अगर आपको ये एपिसोड अच्छा लगा है तो इसे लाइक करें, अपने दोस्तों के साथ शेयर करें और ऐसे ही और एपिसोड देखने के लिए इस चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। धन्यवाद।